Well, we're back for another Dog Turds into Diamonds, and looking at the table, you can see our form has really gone off a cliff this season. After going the first 12 games of the season unbeaten, we haven't really been able to maintain it. We have dropped to 10th in the table. We are 11 points off the playoffs. I think the dream that we had after those first 12 games of perhaps competing for at least a playoff spot this season, I think that is well and truly dead. But we should be pleased. It's the first season in the Championship with by far the smallest club in the division. We have done ourselves proud so far. We are only 13 points off of what is generally considered to be the points total needed for safety. So to maintain ourselves in the Championship this season is going to be a good achievement. But for today, we've got a chance to get things back on track. We have got a big doubleheader. First of all, we are playing Blackburn at home. They are 6th in the league. We can reduce their lead over us to 8 points. And after that, we are taking on 4th place Brentford in the FA Cup third round. Let's do this. Yes, welcome back. We are here once again, turning Dog Turds into Diamonds with AFC Rushden and Diamonds. Yeah, so let's have a look and see how things have been going since you were last here. We have been struggling. We have been kind of given a reality check about life in the Championship, the strength of pretty much all the other teams. It has been hard to keep things going. And I mean, look at that run we are on. It has been absolutely horrific. When was our last good month? I don't even remember. There you go, in October. It was October when we lost our first league game of the season. And since then, wins have been few and far between. But in the last couple of weeks, we've actually done all right. We played away at Stoke, who are going for promotion. We had an amazing 3-2 win there. Let's just take a look at that. I mean, Stoke were the better team here, but I mean, the victory was made even sweeter by the fact that we went down to 10 men in the 37th minute. Dylan Jones was sent off. And at that point, it was 1-1. Joe Kennedy had given us the lead. Josh Kennedy had given us the lead in the 2nd minute. Jansen pulled them back in the 8th. And then once we went down to 10 men, you thought there was only one way this was going. But then a Johnson penalty, 4 minutes later, or well, just after half time, Igor Luiz made it 3-1, heading in a Josh Kennedy free kick. And they got a penalty back in the 61st minute, but we managed to hang on. And that has to be one of the best victories of the season. Really, really good result. A really good performance considering the circumstances. And we've then followed that up with a home defeat against Middlesbrough. We have been really, really poor at home. If you look at the fixtures here, when was our last home win in the league? It was way back in October, the 16th of October, a 5-1 win at home against Derby. And at that time, you would never have thought that that was going to be the last home win we would see. We have really, really been struggling. We cannot keep a clean sheet. We can see goals left, right and centre. And at the other end of the field, well, the goals have kind of dried up. So, yeah, it has been a struggle. So we played Middlesbrough at home. We went 1-0 up through Harry Brady. And as you can see, they dominated the second half. The first half, we were the better side. We deserved to be ahead. In the second half, they completely dominated. I tried to change things around. Nothing seemed to work. They got the winner through Gala in the 76th minute. And yeah, it was another home defeat. Only 3 shots on target for us the entire game. Really disappointing. We then, just a couple of days after that, that was the Boxing Day game against Middlesbrough. Just a couple of days later, we went away to Birmingham. And as you can see, we were really played off the pitch in this game, but we did manage to get a draw. And it was even harder to take when you consider that their equaliser was in the 93rd minute, heading in a corner. Really, really disappointing. But it was pleasing to get a result. Birmingham are top of the league, the team that finished second behind us in League One last season. They are top of the league. They look like they're going to do back-to-back promotions and get to the Premier League. But look at all the changes we had to make for this game. Dreyer was in at right back. Nolan came in to partner Bakula in the defence. I mean, after the Middlesbrough game, there was just so many tired players. Malicio came into midfield alongside Baker. Harry Wilson was playing number 10. And Evans, Jack Evans, was playing as the striker, our loanee from Fulham. He has barely played for us this season. He may well get called back. He's very, very unhappy right now. He's not training well, and you can see he's only made 4 appearances for us in all competitions. So he was playing up front just because of fitness issues. So to get a 1-1 draw away at the league leaders wasn't too bad. And that leaves us with 37 points in the league. But yeah, we have really, really been struggling. But we are, after this Blackburn game, we are taking on Brentford in the FA Cup 3rd round. That is because we did get a rare home victory at home to League 2 Cambridge United in the 2nd round. They are top of League 2. But in this local derby game, we played pretty well, got a comfortable win. Johnson with 2 goals, really pleased for him. I think he's coming along nicely, and Harry Brady came off the bench to score a goal as well. This was a rotated team. Reed played, Saunders played at left back, Appiah and Nolan in the defence, Little and Malicio in midfield. Concannon got a game at number 10. Evans played on the right. Yeah, it was a nice, easy FA Cup game that we were able to rotate players for. So that is how we get to the stage of playing against Brentford in the 3rd round. It's a home tie to get to the 4th round for the first time in our history. Hopefully we can turn the form around. Now, before we get into this game against Blackburn, what has been going on with the team? Well, the first thing you can see here is there is no Harry Wilson in the first 11. That is because he has got old really, really quickly this season. Just overnight, he seems to have become a very old player. His physicals are absolutely through the floor. His ability now is probably more of a leading League One player rather than a Championship player. He's still got some decent things about him. I mean, his free kicks are great, even though I don't think he's scored one all season. His composure on the ball is great, but then things like his decisions, his vision, his passing, his first touch, his dribbling, it's all kind of dropping off now. And his form, as you can see, is absolutely abysmal. His last 5 games, a 6.52 rating. He was one of our best players at the start of the season. He was a big factor in our amazing start over those first 12 games. But yeah, he now really doesn't look the same player, and his average rating overall has almost dropped below a 7 just because of that poor form. So I don't know how much he's going to play the rest of the season. He's really struggling. Outside of that, we've kind of saved Ufi Dreyer's unhappiness. He was very unhappy at not playing. With all the games we've had, Igor Luiz having a little injury, having suspensions, he has got some game time, so he's kind of happy again. We've turned that around. He's just he's unhappy. It says there he's unhappy about Philip Appiah's treatment. That's because Appiah, of course, wanted more game time as well. Philip Appiah, we've also just about managed to turn around. He does still want to leave, but he has been playing a lot more games. He's now played 12 games in all competitions. He's a lot happier than he was. and he's actually played really well as well. He's been getting a game ahead of Nolan, so that's pleasing. Igor Luiz and Dylan Jones are both suspended for today's game, and Igor Luiz is unhappy that I've backed down to Ufi Dreyer by playing him, but I've only been playing Ufi Dreyer when Igor Luiz is not available, so it's a bit of a strange one, that. Yeah, Dylan Jones being suspended is very disappointing for such a big game. To be without my two first choice fullbacks is a real shame. Apart from that, what else is going on? Mario Kakiao has been really making massive improvements in training. He's really developing nicely, the 22-year-old. He can apparently develop into a good Premier League player. So the fact that he's worth nearly 10 million now, I'm hoping that by the end of this season there are some Premier League clubs interested in him. That would absolutely turn the club finances around, and that is necessary because we are now over £500,000 in debt. We've done the entire transfer budget, we've done the entire wage budget. We really need some help. We really need to sell an expensive player. I think this will turn around at the end of the season when TV money comes in, or prize money, or whatever else. I think we will get a few million at the end of the season. So I hope I'm right, because if not, we are kind of struggling. I've asked the board again to expand the stadium. They won't do it because we don't have the money. So yeah, it's pretty tough right now. It's pretty tough. So yeah, that's basically a quick roundup of the situation. So let's get into our tactical meeting, and then we'll talk about how we are planning to line up for this first game of today's episode. I am going to switch the midfield around because they are playing with their number 10. Blackburn are a very good team. Yeah, with them playing their number 10, I do need to make some changes, but this is how we're going to line up. Sanisalo in goal. He's been very disappointing. The only reason I'm still playing him is because I don't think I've got a viable replacement, but he's only had 4 clean sheets all season. He set the League One clean sheet record last season, but he has not made the step up. Very disappointing. Ufi Dreyer at right back. Pakula and Simpson are the centre backs for today. Saunders comes in at left back for the suspended Dylan Jones. You can see he hasn't been good in the games he's played. We have got a very tired looking midfield. Alex Baker is going to be the defensive central midfielder. And I'm playing Ellis Chapman at box-to-box midfielder now. That is because Moreno has been really poor there this season. He doesn't really have the characteristics for it. He was good in League 2 and League 1. But with this step up to the Championship, he just can't do that role. So Ellis Chapman is going to start there today. On the right, we've got Mario Kakiao. He's pretty tired. But again, I don't think I've really got a viable second option. So we might be giving him 60 minutes and then making changes. Josh Kennedy on the left wing and Harry Brady up front. Harry Brady continues to score goals despite our poor form. He has dropped off. He was 13 in the first 13 league games of the season. He's now 16 in 21. So he's only 3 in his last 7. But hopefully he can keep developing and turn his season around. On the bench, we've got Apaya, Malicio, Concannon, who hasn't really had much of an opportunity this season, but has done well in the games he's played. Jack Evans, do I want to put him in? He's very tired and he's very unhappy at his lack of game time. I think what I am going to do is actually bring him. Well, again, Brian Nolan is pretty tired as well. Just with the lack of defenders, I think it would be a good idea to have Brian Nolan in on the bench. So I'll bring him in for Jack Evans. I do like to line up my substitutes by position. Harry Wilson is on the bench. He can obviously play either wing and as the number 10. Rocco Vata, who can play midfield or striker. And Anthony Johnson, who he's been doing okay of late. He's not been doing badly. He was 3rd place in the Championship Young Player of the Month. He's scored a couple of goals. He's played right wing. He's played striker. He's kind of picking himself up. So I've got faith that if I give him a run of games, he can probably come good. I do think he's good enough to be a decent championship striker. So we'll see what happens with Harry Brady. If Harry Brady's goals dry up, Anthony Johnson may get his opportunity as the main striker. So that is how we go into this game. Let's have a look and see if we can get the players motivated. As I say, we haven't won a home game in the league since October. It is now a real struggle to compete with teams. We are not dominating possession anymore. We are not creating many chances anymore. We are not seeing many highlights anymore. It's been tough, but I mean, if we can get a good result against Blackburn here, that could really turn things around. So let's see, how will the players react? We've got nothing to lose. We have the quality to beat them today. I quite like that. I mean, look, we're 19th in the form table. We are on relegation form. I mean, I do think with us only needing about 13 points to guarantee safety, I do think we're going to be okay. But yeah, it's a little bit concerning. We really need some next level midfielders. I think in part 2 of today's episode, we're going to have a little look in the January transfer window, and we're going to see if there's maybe any midfielders that are available for loan that we could bring in. We certainly can't sign anybody, but if we can maybe get a player in on loan to help out in the midfield, that would be great. Now for today, I'm going to bring Baker back into a defensive midfield position, and I'm going to make Moreno a deep lying playmaker. I think that is his best position. It says his central midfielder is his best position. I'm going to play him as a deep line playmaker. I do like to have a playmaker in the team. Baker is going to play defensive midfield. Wait, where am I going? What is happening here? Let's put Baker to specifically mark their number 10, Ashley Askew, and Pakula is going to mark their striker. So let's hope that this team can dig out a good result today. I'm going to go with a positive mentality. I've been playing balance the last few games. I'm not sure it's the way to go. And I'm going to ask my players to be more expressive. We've really been struggling to create chances. And I'm also now playing to regroup when we lose possession. We were just conceding so many goals that I just think the pressing game that we've been playing hasn't really worked. So we've changed our defensive setup a little bit. Just trying to seek this home win that has been eluding us for so long. Let's see how we can do today against one of the best teams in the league. We are 4 points from our last 3 games in the league. Hopefully that is the start of a little bit of a turnaround. Just going to encourage the players. Again, we're giving away the possession, which is something we weren't doing at the start of the season. We were very good at having more possession of the ball, but that possession game has just not really worked out. But we are playing really well here. 6 shots at goal, 3 on target. This is certainly our best performance for a while, for sure. I mean, we are doing, even though there's not been one single highlight, we're apparently doing all right here. I mean, we are dominating this game in terms of the chances, but they get the first highlight, and Sanisalo is forced into an incredible close-range save. And that kind of sums up the way our season is going, the fact that we have dominated on the stats, but the only highlight of the game so far has been a miraculous save to keep us in it. And they now get another highlight. It's away, but can we do anything? No. A quick highlight, that one. But yeah, this is frustrating, isn't it? I mean, you look at everything there, and we have been much the better team, but the only 2 highlights we've seen have been in Blackburn's favour. Let's yeah, I'll go with my my assistant on that one. Let's see if we can just create something in the second half, please. Let's see if we can keep ourselves on top statistically, but start getting some highlights here. I really want to see us convert one of these chances. Again, we have looked good, but an hour in, there is nothing going on here. I think I need to make some changes as well. Again, they've got possession at the start, the only highlight of the second half. We do win it back nicely there, though. Can we make something out of this here? Chapman finding Mario Kakiao. Can he get a cross in? He can. And Harry Brady heads over. And I'm going to make some changes there. We really need Harry Brady to develop that aerial game. I'm going to bring Ellis Chapman off. And do I bring in Adam Concannon? I think I'm going to bring him in. He deserves an opportunity. And I make Moreno the box-to-box midfielder, and Concannon is going to be the deep line playmaker. Yeah, he can play that. He's better as an advanced playmaker. Go on, let's make him an advanced playmaker on support then. And Mario Kakiao is very tired. I'm going to bring him off, and I'm going to bring Johnson in. Let's see. And do you know what? I'm going to make Johnson inside forward just to try and get him in and around the penalty area. And let's see if the boys can just come up with something for us in these last 30 minutes of the game. Let's encourage the players again when I get the chance. Unless there's a highlight. There you go. 15 minutes to go. Only one highlight in our favour the entire game, despite the fact that we have had 7 shots on target apparently. And now they get a highlight close to our goal. It's away, but only as far as Lambert. They will put it back in. Pedro Ferreira. And here is a big opportunity, and it's wide, and we've survived it. What can we do here? Come on, boys. We've only had one highlight in our favour the entire game, but we've won it back here. Can we now create something here late on? No, we can't. It's been lost with an awful pass. Dormer will get a cross in. It's headed down, and Sanisalo. Oh my goodness, we've given away a penalty. In the 88th minute, Sanisalo, I don't think I've ever seen him save a penalty. What can you say? What can you say? Let's get Baker off. Let's get, do I go Harry Wilson or Rocco Vata? I'm going to go 4-4-2. Let's get Rocco Vata in there up front with Brady. Oh, man. I'm absolutely distraught with this. I'm absolutely distraught. The stats say that we have played well today. The stats say that we have had a higher XG, we have had more chances, but we have seen just one attacking highlight in our favour. I don't know what else I can do. I'm absolutely distraught with that. We do not deserve this at all. Sanisalo nowhere near the penalty. And this is going to end 1-0 to Blackburn. And they have had the better XG by the end of the game, but that is really, really harsh. Harry Brady, absolutely abysmal up front. Oh, man. What is it? Is it just a lack of quality to compete? Or is there some sort of tweak that I can do here to try and turn this around? That really seems unfair. You look at the stats there. I know Blackburn did have a higher XG by the end. Obviously, the penalty would have really helped that. But you look at the stats there, and that was, in theory, a good performance. But we have seen just one highlight in our favour throughout the game, and that's really a pattern that has that I've seen over the last few months now. We barely seem to create a great chance in the highlights anymore. Things have really dried up at on the offensive side of things. That is so frustrating. Well, listen, I'm going to end part 1 there. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, click on the link for part 2 to see if we can actually turn things around in the FA Cup 3rd round against Brentford. I'll see you very, very soon when you click on that link.